Hi guys, this is Wenzes from Below the Radar Above the System, and today I want to talk to you about willpower, what it actually means, how it means something different for each person you meet, and how to control that by controlling our impulses, our way of thoughts, and our natural patterns that leave us into a negative mindset or into a state of doing that is not beneficial to us. So first off, let's define willpower. Willpower means that you actually have control over your mind, over your actions, and really go into a direction that is bringing you positive outcome in the long run. Okay, and it can be for some people the willpower to actually slow back and enjoy your environment right now, or for others it can be controlling that your mind doesn't go into negative thoughts. And as I've told you before, I'm also going to get into Enneagrams, because in that specific system, a lot of people talk about, or the system is based on the fact what is good for us, what kind of impulses we have that bring us into a negative mindset, and what to do to get into a positive mindset. And for INFJs, for example, there's some Enneagrams that are typical. Mine is actually a 9, which is not the most typical, so I'll get into this later. But one of those, and it's also very common in INFPs, is the Enneagram 4. And the Enneagram 4, one of those things is that if they don't consciously control their mind, their thoughts go into possible negative scenarios. So I talked to my best friend this morning, and she's an INFP, and she was going through a situation, and she was telling me how if she doesn't really control herself, she always think about, oh, this could go, my current situation could go so badly right now because she's in a transition phase. And if she doesn't really control herself, then her thoughts just concentrate on that one thing. She has this interview she's going today, she has to go to today, and she told me, it's like I can't really control my day. I can't really enjoy my breakfast or what I'm going to do in the morning just because my thoughts are going into this negative thing this afternoon. And when she was younger, it was really just numbing her even more. She just could sit there and just think about this one thing, and she was not able to do anything. So for people like that who really think about possible negative outcomes, it's very important to live in the moment. So to stop your impulse or your natural tendency to go there mentally. And it can be very difficult in the beginning. I told you in a couple of the videos that I did last year in the very beginning, when I was in a very depressed state, how difficult it was for me, and how it was a battle that you do every day. And it's not anything different with willpower. You can really train that like a muscle in your brain, and it is just repeating to yourself that this is just a way you perceive the world right now, but it's not the truth. Because the truth is, this is one thing that's going to happen, that you have to go to, that may have some negative outcome. It may not be that way, but definitely you're not gaining anything from concentrating on the possible negative outcomes, and it doesn't bring you anything. So the best thing you can do is just really concentrate and push your mind to thoughts that are just present. For example, like right now, okay, I'm enjoying my beautiful breakfast, I'm gonna go to the gym, I'm gonna do this and that, and just really be present. For people who have these tendencies, this is a really good way to train their willpower. And there are so many things or impulses we have that we're not even aware of. One of my friends, she has this thing where she always feels like she's missing out on something. I have to look up what kind of Enneagram thing that is, but always, we go out and she has to study or do something, it is like inside of her, she always like pushes up those emotions that make it negative for her, and she suffers. This is also a point of willpower, to really concentrate on the fact that, oh no, I'm just making this up in my mind. It is not that bad. There are always going to be things that I'm not going to be able to be a part of, and that's okay. It's not so much about letting other people have their fun and not telling them that you're upset. It's much more about getting to a place where it really doesn't upset you. And for me, for example, willpower has a lot to do with being active. As an Enneagram 9, or generally the way I function, it's a lot about numbing out. It's a lot about, I used to just sit at home, watch television shows, not do anything, not go out, not talk to anybody, not care about how I looked, not caring about, that I did something. And this is a natural tendency for me, as in, what for? Until I realized that in order for me to be happy, I need to be active, and I need to control that, because sometimes you do tend to get into that mindset. And so you consciously have to focus your thought on other things. So by me, for example, getting up and going to the gym, it's not so much about keeping my body healthy, it's about you train your willpower just by going to the gym. And every time you train that, you get better at it. And when I was like last year, it was really difficult for me to really get up and do a bunch of stuff. It was very, very it was a lot of strength I was requiring to do that. And now it's not that way. I get into these states. For example, I'm on vacation right now, or I'm just off work, and I kind of fell back into this mental state where I was just laying low and not doing anything. It is important, but I had to realize that at some point I have to get up. Even if I just, I can go to the beach or I can go meet with friends, but I have to be active. And once I started doing that, I realized how much better I felt. Because it's not so much about, are you going to make a lot of money in your life? Are you going to make a huge impact? It's about enjoying each day to the fullest and feeling alive. And for each person, there are different things that cause us to not feel fully alive, which drain us of our happiness, of our life energy. And it's important to realize those things and consciously work in the other direction, although this may seem like the truth right now. And for extroverts, they have these things too. It's not so much about like not doing anything like it is for me, but you have extroverts which are always trained on doing, which become workaholics, which have a tendency to always have to prove themselves to others. It's every of those things. If you want to prove yourself to others, if you want to relax, if you want to work, all these things are healthy for everybody. And also, it's also healthy to think about negative things that could happen in the future. And it's also good to realize that, I'm missing out on something. I should be there next time, because otherwise you might be losing out on great possibilities. But the key is that there always has to be a balance. There always has to be something that keeps everything in check so you have the best possible life. And as I said, extroverts, for example, if they have this tendency to always have to prove themselves and be something great in order to feel like they have deserved the right to be loved, for example, they have to learn that they have to step back. They have a natural tendency to perform. They have a natural tendency to do a lot of stuff because they naturally have that energy. And they have to learn that they have to concentrate more about what they want, what's important to them, so they don't end up being on a road where you said, you've gone a long way, but you just went the wrong direction. And so for them, it's important to stop their impulses of performing and achieving, and to kind of like concentrate on themselves and what they want. So those are the key things. And the question is how you do this. How do you really train your willpower? And there are things that you have to just do on a daily basis. And it's just little things. It's just little things, but you'll understand how easily you can kind of manipulate your mind. But you have to realize what is your natural tendency, where you're going. And it's, as I said, that last year when I had my huge depression, it was really a battle. It was a battle of every day because I was the lowest point possible. I was at a point where I felt nothing made sense. There's no reason to strive for anything because it doesn't make me happy. And I had to kind of like tell myself over and over again, oh, I'm gonna fight, I'm not gonna give up. I will do the best out of this situation, not knowing what's gonna happen. Like back then, since I was never at such a low, I didn't know that I'm gonna get better. I really didn't. I thought this state is how it's gonna be from that point on. And I realized that I really at least have to make it a little bit better. So I started writing my book. I wrote every day a little bit. I did stuff that really made me be active and create some kind of energy because I was so drained. And day after day, as I said, it was like 3 days up, 1 down. 3 days up, 1 down. It's like a cycle, but you can train your willpower as a muscle. And once you realize that there are things that make you feel better, and it doesn't matter what other people think of it, it's just about what makes you happy. If you have like a hobby, something other people can understand, don't want to understand, it doesn't matter. You make an impact by being a good example, and you can be a good example on your terms. You have to realize what are the things that are really keeping you from achieving your happiness, and then work in the opposite direction. And as I said, there are different things impulses or personal things that we have going on. For example, some people have the urge to control everything, or other people have the urge to not want to control anything. Like I'm one of those. Didn't want to control anything. And you have to understand that you have to find a balance. And you can learn from people who are the opposite way, but mainly concentrate on those things. So if you're like me, stop wasting your time on watching too much television, or just laying around, not doing anything, just finding some kind of way to pass your time. Do something that makes you happy, that you're passionate about, and you'll see how each time you train your willpower. And you might ask, yeah, okay, so I train my willpower, and then what? The fact of doing, it's not so much about the result. It's about every day you practice those things. Every day you do something that is beneficial to you, that will help you get in a positive mindset and so on. Every day is a day one. Is a positive day. It's something that will help you in the long run and will make you happy. So make it a priority in your life to shift away from all those negative patterns into positive ones. Recognize what those negative patterns are for you. As I said, I'll soon make those videos on the specific Enneagram types, so maybe you can identify with one of them and realize what your personal triggers are to get into a negative mindset, and what you have to do in order to get into a positive mindset. But it's important to do those things, although they don't feel good at that moment. When I'm in one of my states where I'm just really just laying down and don't care about anything, then I do not want to get up, put my makeup on, and do a video about what I've studied in the last weeks. I don't want to do that. But I know consciously that I have to just start doing those things. And just even by the process, I woke up this morning and I said today is going to be a good day. I got up, I took a shower, did all those things, and already in this process I felt so much better. And I was thinking about, what was I thinking yesterday? But you have to do those things at the moment when you don't feel that great. Okay, this is it for now. I have to go get the door, and talk to you soon. Bye.